By the power of Grayskull. And here we are, back in the steam tunnels, our own little Castle Grayskull. Turns out we had a lot to talk about in between episodes last time. This is quite the stir we've had amongst the triumvirate down here in the steam tunnels. I'm Josh, the Birdman, welcoming you back. I'm going to get you to the introductions sooner today. I'm going to really try and push those introductions. But before I do, just want to remind you, head on over to iTunes and or Apple Podcasts. Please rate and review us. Help push us up the charts. Visit us, get some merch. Greg has been cranking out some nice merch over there. A couple different T-shirts, which I've seen out there. It's been fantastic. And I saw a purple hoodie someone purchased. So. And trying to get those tank tops going. See if we can, Greg, Starchild, give us your intro and tell us if there are any tank tops out there for us.
Well, there are tank tops out there. They don't have them yet.
Okay.
They don't have them yet. They're not in shop yet, but they will be. And welcome to everyone listening. I greet you with a quote of the day. Not kidding. I really did hear this. Boobs make everything better.
Enough said. Can't argue with that. I mean, when you hear good logic, it's good logic. Granted, we're the steam gentlemen, and we don't want to give too much of the impression there. But hopefully for the female singular fan out there listening, hopefully she.
Well, gentlemen, we're probably now down to zero.
Yeah, probably down to zero. Probably no agreements there, but hopefully that is the case. And 3 of clubs going out there. We're gonna hit 21 today. What is going on?
Once again, it's just not my problem, but I'm doing all right. How are you guys? Good to see you.
There you go. We're doing all right here. We are here in our locales, safe and sound. Hopefully, at the moment unmasked. Hopefully, we won't have to mask up on these Zoom meetings soon. But hey, every day. Oh, there we go. Every day is just another wondrous day here, and in variant land or at Delta. I wonder if we'll go to Echo and Bravo. I'm a little upset that I never heard about Bravo and Charlie, but we're on the Delta variant out there these days. So good times. Hopefully everyone out there.
Hear that there is a Gamma variant.
Gamma! Oh my God. Well, but shouldn't the first one have been Andromeda? That's what we would have named it. I mean, let's be honest.
Probably.
Yeah,
or Alpha.
Alpha, but
is it more like an Ed Norton Gamma, or is it more like an Eric Bana Gamma?
Ooh.
What kind of Gamma are we looking at?
I mean, that's a subject for another time. But Ed Norton did decent with it, but Eric Bana, ooh, that was some tough source material, man. I can't really, Hong Lee.
As a fan, and I'll admit, probably not the best movie in the world for a lot of reasons, of Black Hawk Down, I was really, really pulling for Eric Bana. I really hope he could pull it off, but apparently he doesn't have more than like 3 emotions in his acting range. So that was a little problematic when one of the emotions you don't have is, anger and rage, and the guy you're showing up to act is, predicated on checking notes, anger and rage. So that's a little bit of a problem.
I got my safety right here, sir. Black Hawk Down reference.
How awesome was Hoot? Awesome. Character was so awesome.
Apparently a composite of a couple of guys, but I still always question why he was supposed to be undercover, because he was out in Somalia, and he's literally the only white guy. I'm gonna go there, but like he's sitting there on a bike. So
remember that part where I said, admittedly, not a good movie?
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, in all fairness, that happened, and we had America, we had people from America of mixed races fighting in the battle, so there were white guys there. I'm just saying, if you're in an African country that is not predominantly white, I know it's hard to imagine here in America, maybe your undercover guy shouldn't be white. I'm just saying, I'm gonna go out on that limb there. Might stand out in that particular case, just hey, but I'm not I'm just a nerd. I'm not a real military guy.
Listen, like Hoot said, you just wouldn't understand.
Okay, fair enough. That's it. All right. So to the heart of the controversy, because the geek world has been rocked by the yes, no, the love, the hate that is Masters of the Universe Revelation. Our own Kevin Smith, the dude I met who signed my Star Wars character back in film school, gave us a new Masters of the Universe series, a He-Man series for the ages. And often, as I was talking a little bit about as we came in here and behind the scenes, Rashawn tends to end up, whether he likes it or not, I think he doesn't, I think I can't blame a man for loving his work. I cannot blame a man for loving his work, but he often ends up with a contrary opinion to myself and Greg.
We're about to be talking about fanboys. So if you're the fanboy who wants to walk around and believe that Batman does not enjoy beating the shit out of people day in, day out, super villain or not, you go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and say that my man's easily holding down an erection at least half the time. He's definitely got to get to points where he's like, I am this good? I mean, think about it. Like, how good...
There's nothing wrong with enjoying your work.
Exactly. It's not my fault. I love my job.
Hold on. How good do you have to be at something where you think you can challenge a being that is literally impossible to beat by human standards? Like, you gotta be so good. You gotta be sitting there. Like, most of us aren't even fucking dumb enough to like get into some sort of physical prowess and think in the back of our head, for those of us who grew up in the 80s and the 90s, yeah, I can take Mike Tyson. Like, it never gets to a point where you think you're gonna get to that point. Like, no matter how good of shape you get to, you're not sitting there like, yeah, I can totally do that. Or like Jordan on the court or some equivalent. It's never gonna. You can be a great swimmer, and you're never like, yeah, I got Phelps' number. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So how good can you be for you to be looking at Superman like, wrong fucking day, bro? That's all. That's all I need. Wrong fucking day. That's all I need.
Just kind of the way it is in our WWF thing. I mean, I'm the manager. Greg's the hero. Rashawn's the heel. That's it. I'm taking a heel turn today. Greg's taking a heel turn today. I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter is, I'm going to preface up here that two of us really like the new Masters of the Universe series. And one of us joined in with the fanboys and the troglodytes online, giving the negative reviews and bringing it back down. Oh, I'm seeing the look I'm getting over there from Star Child.
Yeah, before he hops in there, I'm just going to go ahead and point out, since we're sticking with this WWE or F bullshit. I want to point out that I don't know what the kids are watching now. I don't know who the hero and the heels are now. But at the height of their popularity and rise, both Stone Cold Steve Austin and Dwayne The Rock Johnson were considered heels. So, fine.
Absolutely. Did John Cena ever turn heel?
Who the fuck cares about that guy who's my height?
I know. Yes, but as he says, he looks like Mark Wahlberg ate Mark Wahlberg as the line he had in Trainwreck that I loved. I thought that was the best line in the entire movie.
Actually, no, I kind of like John Cena. He's pretty cool.
That's what made me like him. I couldn't resist. I'm like, I like you, John Cena. You delivered that line with the exact right amount of passion that you should. I look like Mark Wahlberg ate Mark Wahlberg, but yes, I've been tugging on the cape of the Star Child over there all week over this, because it's often our opinions align, Star Wars notwithstanding. But that one, I think we've come to that point. So I'm gonna get started right here. I'm gonna get started in my basic points that the controversy is here. We have watched. I'm gonna have to throw out some spoilers. So if you haven't watched the new Masters of the Universe series, if you're not interested in the new Masters of the Universe series, probably not the show for you right now. I get it. Totally cool. If you want to stick around though and give us a shot, we appreciate it nonetheless. So yes, Kevin Smith reboots it. We got a whole thing. It's been hyped up. I didn't realize I was watching part of the hype up process. A couple weeks ago, I watched a documentary on Masters and and the makers who made them and how it came about in Mattel, how they were trying to launch the entire line to compete with Star Wars because Mattel did not have any action figure lines. And I think that's part of the reason, to give a backdrop to this episode, why the three of us do have some love for this series. We played with Star Wars action figures. We played with Masters of the Universe action figures. We played with G.I. Joe. We are the action figure generation. I think that's pretty hard to debate. That definitely kids born between 1970s and 1989, we played with action figures. Like, that just was one of those things we did. And, you know, my kids still play with them. It's a little bit different. They do have more digital options now. They do have more movies to watch and yada, yada. But it was this kind of funny concept because He-Man had no backstory when they designed him. It really was a bunch of guys sitting around saying, well, what do kids like? What do boys like? All right, they like weapons. Great. Okay, let's give them a bunch of medieval weapons, the type of shit that can cut you and chop arms off and chop heads off. What else do kids like? Muscles. Okay, let's make a guy who looks, you know, like, let's just give a guy who looks like he took every steroid in the universe and actually give him muscles that don't exist on the human body. I can actually attest to that as you look at it. He-Man has 3 biceps. Bi means 2.
Yeah.
just to start it off there. Greg, Greg comes to it from the art world, so he knows because he learned anatomy. Rashad and I learned anatomy for our fitness certification. So all of us are on the same page here. You give a guy who just doesn't even, has muscles that literally don't exist, like some Renaissance paintings before you could study cadavers, right? They're just running with it. But they literally, okay, so we give him this, and then we're going to give him a best friend, and we're going to have him ride a cat because no one's ever ridden a cat before. Reason they did that, they owned the mold for that cat, that tiger. They were like, oh, we own the mold for this. And they had no money to do all this. This was all done on a relative shoestring. And remember, most toys and endeavors like this lose money. So they're like, all right, paint it orange and brown. And I don't care if it's the wrong, they're like, it's the wrong scale. I don't care if it's the wrong scale. Put them on its back. They'll fucking love it. And they did. And we did. We absolutely bought all of this stuff up. Kudos to the originators at Mattel. The interesting part about that series, and this documentary confirms it, was that it was the first of a generation where rules had been loosened in Congress, no less. This is, you want to talk about people today, talk about government oversight and government going too far. Congress was very worried about the cartoons that children watched. And if you could use those cartoons to sell them a toy. And that was not allowed up until this time in the early 80s. That was the first time that some restrictions were loosened, and there were conditions done. That was why both He-Man and G.I. Joe, and I don't even know if Transformers, Greg, did Transformers have a moral at the end of it? No, Transformers may have been like the one to just cut away from that, but they all had to have these moral
Wait, if you're
tales.
talking about one of the conditions, all the conditions fell under it. It was all cartoons that came on at a certain time block had to have an educational component no matter what. That's why every single one of those cartoons, no matter what you're watching, ended with some sort of lesson, including He-Man.
Right. But He-Man, they leaned into it. They were like, absolutely, we'll give you that. And they took out certain kinds of violence. He-Man could never use his sword to actually hurt somebody. He couldn't be shown to like really punch somebody. He always punched the camera. So there were all these conditions that went around with it. Well, fast forward to now, 2021, when we've all been locked inside and wondering what's going on in our lives. And, violence on TV is not really quite the thing that it used to be. And we have Kevin Smith's new Master series. I think it is a great job. And I'm going to point out to you why. One, it advances from where that 80s series took off. It